Hello, everyone. I'm Cynthia Nickerson, and this is LASOS. That's LA Strategies and Solutions. It's a program of the IPS Westside Impact Project. And today I'm speaking with Brenda Villanueva, co-chair of the Los Angeles Drug and Alcohol Policy Alliance, known in the community as LA DAPA. The topic is the Restaurant Beverage Program. It's a proposed policy that would cut down on the waiting time and the cost for liquor licenses for sit-down restaurants. Now, it may seem pretty harmless at first, but there are some issues related to public health and safety that need to be addressed. So, Brenda, hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So again, seems kind of harmless. There's about 50 standards that it looks like the restaurants have to go through. What are the issues that you all are concerned about?
I think for us, as we're looking at, particularly in the LA area, not only the overproliferation of alcohol licenses, but just, I think it's kind of a part of like the fact that there's a messaging that in order for a business to thrive, in order for a business to make it in LA, they have to sell alcohol. And I think that's, the alcohol industry has done a great job in trying to push that and make it seem like it's a necessity for businesses, particularly restaurants and grocery stores to thrive, but that's not necessarily the case. And unfortunately for us that we serve the underprivileged areas, particularly low-income communities with people of color, that's where there tends to be a higher concentration of alcohol outlets, precisely with liquor stores. And our fear is that this is only really gonna come into play in areas like Brentwood, Westwood, Beverly Hills. They're not really gonna be bringing these types of restaurants into our communities per se. And so again, it leaves a disparity within communities. But aside from that, three of the major issues that we see, the first one being that the conditions, although you did say that there's like about 50 of them, they're not stringent enough. That's one of them. There's certain conditions that we think could benefit. For example, one that they wouldn't accept and we thought would be important was the happy hours and the pitchers and stuff, which usually push for binge drinking. So when that happens, not only are there drink specials that draw crowds in, but it's gonna kind of push them to drink more and excessively in a short amount of period of time, which now then puts them on the road should they drive. And we know that in Los Angeles, everybody drives everywhere. The second concern, and one of the biggest ones, and where I think a lot of the community is pushing back, is the fact that in the whole process, there is no community input. If I'm not mistaken, most of the community would be notified, I believe 14 days after it has already been approved, which means that they have no say whatsoever into the restaurant coming into their community, which for us poses a big problem because communities should have a say into who and what comes into their neighborhoods. And so that's obviously one of the ones that neighborhood councils are particularly very concerned about, and I think the most upset about. And then the third one being that they haven't really specified how they're going to do code enforcement and how the process would be should a restaurant not adhere to the conditions placed and not adhere to what has been stipulated for them to keep the license. And we currently, the way things are in the city of Los Angeles through the permit process, it is very, very difficult to shut down a problematic outlet, whether it be a bar, a liquor store. It takes like about 3 to 5 years. So it's like, okay, you're expediting a process for restaurants. And, we by no means try to hamper on business, but it's just that there are so many factors that play into this, and communities should be considered and should be able to have a say. And when you expedite something to come into their community but have no actual process to expedite, the retraction of that license should they not, be a benefit to the community. That also poses a problem, especially when you've already taken the say from the community. So those are like the major concerns that we have as preventionists.
So it's already been introduced, and from what I can tell, the train has already left the station in terms of heading towards some sort of resolution with this.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a plan to intervene before it gets approved?
Yes, we actually continue to have talks with both city planning, because as of now, I think it finally did get introduced into city council, but there's still some concerns that I think even some of the council members have. So we're still as LA DAPA trying to meet with the different council members to kind of, continue to not only address our concerns, but try to see, if we could kind of get them to at least hold off a bit on it before or make a wiser choice when it comes to taking the final vote, just to really look at all the considerations. We had already been in the process with planning. They would let us, sit in, they would listen to us, but at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that we had recommended didn't really make it through. And again, like the neighborhood councils were very vocal. I know that in all the NC plan check meetings, they would basically vocalize with city planning that they were not okay with removing community input. And that was one of the things that we're really, really pushing for. But yeah, we're gonna continue to attend the meetings, which, they're open to the public. So anytime they have hearings and stuff, which is very easy to check for, you can go to the lacity.org website and for the council meetings, as well as a lot of the city planning meetings. Obviously, they're all virtual right now, but there's a phone line that you can call while the meeting is going on. And the other beautiful piece about it is that you can also send letters or comments. They do have a link as well so that you can submit public comment. So, that's kind of like what we're doing. We've been sending letters as LA DAPA, and we've also been participating on the council meetings and all the hearings to vocalize our concerns and address those.
So it's still time for people that are just now finding out about this to get involved?
Yes. And like I said, the best way, and you do kind of have to keep track on the website, because some meetings, with everything going on right now with COVID, a lot of them do get postponed or just canceled altogether. But right now that they're going virtual, they're easier to tap into through Zoom, and they usually send you the link. And like I said, they're public. So, you can access it that way. And if you can't make the meeting, you can still submit public comment as long as you know the actual city code or the council file, better yet, for the ordinance or motion being put or introduced. So you can still put that number and submit public comment without attending the meeting.
How effective is public comment? Do you think that will play some role in community pressure?
I do think so, to a great degree, especially when it's a lot. Like I said, a lot of the neighborhood councils have been vocalizing it, and we've garnered support through there. And they have a strong pull because they speak on behalf of the neighborhoods and communities. But also us, we have a large network, and we have about a good 30 to 40 agencies represented. So, in different groups that we are speaking on behalf of. So there's power in that. But yeah, you can never think that you do too little to advocate. It's never, we have to keep doing the work, and we have to keep speaking on behalf of our communities. They like to make it seem like it doesn't go a long way, but it really does. And the more vocal we are, the more they have to hear us out. So it's not too late to submit that.
All right, well, we'll put the word out and hope folks get the message and that they will take some action, because action from everybody can result in positive outcomes.
Yes, indeed. Only we can speak on behalf of our community. So the more vocal we are, the more closer we will be to getting to live in the communities we all want and deserve to live in.
Yeah. Okay, Brenda. Thank you so much. Appreciate your comments, and we'll see you soon.